Anthony DeMello reminded us that almost all of our attachments are the things that are the source of all of our problems. Our attachments. Primarily our attachments to being right, our attachments to money, our attachments to our belief systems, our attachments to our beliefs. I mean, so many people here really strongly, I've heard it expressed since I've been here for Friday. Many of you believe that the real person who needs to hear all of these messages is not here. He's back home, watching the football games. And you are far more spiritually advanced. And that represents, the consciousness of what your relationships are like. There's the spiritual one, and there's that asshole that's back at home. Or whoever it is. And I'd like to suggest to you that that person back at home who you interpret to be the one who really needs to hear this message, that he or she or they are in your life for as profound a reason as anyone you've heard here this last weekend. That they have as much to teach you. And I really and truly don't believe that our soulmates are the people that we agree with. Your soulmate is the person that pushes your buttons. Your soulmate is the person that can send you into a frenzy. Your soulmate is the person who, if 99 people out of 100 say something to you, you're able to ignore it. But when they say it, you go insane. That's your soulmate, and they never disappear. You can't get rid of them. Because your essence of what you're here for is about peace. It's about peace. It's about being in rapport or in harmony with that which created you, out of which you came. And any time you're out of rapport, out of harmony, inconsistent with that source from which you emanated, you're out of peace. And anybody who can send you away from your peace is someone who came into your life to teach you the most important lessons that you have. My father walked out on our family when I was born. He never made a phone call to my mother, who had 3 boys under the age of 4 during the Depression. He spent 5 years of his life in prison. He did the same thing to 5 additional wives. He died of cirrhosis of the liver at the age of 49. In debt to everyone, a thief, and he never even made a phone call, never sent a penny in support. He just walked out. But in 1974, 10 years after he died, I went to his grave, and I was able to express one of those 10 secrets, which is give up your personal history. Give it up. Let go of it. Don't be attached to it. As Castaneda says, if you don't have a story, you don't have to live up to it. So get rid of your story. Because everything that has ever happened to you in the past is nothing more than what you had to go through in order to get here. Pretty simple. The evidence for it is that you did. You don't really need much more evidence than that. And everything that happened back there is like the wake of a boat. The wake of a boat is nothing more than a trail that is left behind. And it doesn't drive the boat. The wake can never drive the boat. It's just a trail that is left behind. And most of us who take on egos believe that the wake of our life is what's driving the boat. That trail that is left back there is why I can't do this. In the 10th century, there was a man named Omar Khayyam, a Muslim, who wrote the Rubaiyat. Imagine 1,000 years ago he knew this. The moving finger writes, and having writ, moves on, nor all thy piety nor wit can lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all thy tears wash out one word of it. Great wisdom, isn't it? And when you give up your personal history, and I carried that personal history around with me for 34 years. Angry. Someone once described resentment as the poison that you take in order to kill somebody else. The 7th secret of 10 secrets says there are no justified resentments. Everything that you justify. I have a right to be happy. I have a right to be unhappy. You'll hear people say it all the time. I have a right. If you knew who I was married to, you would understand. I have a right to be miserable. And they go around defending their right to be miserable. And when you defend your right to be miserable, you attract exactly what you're defending into your life. You just keep attracting more and more of it. I had a woman who had been divorced in therapy with me back in the 70s, and she had gone out with 4 men since her divorce, and all 4 of the men had treated her exactly the same. They had treated her as a sex object, moved on, didn't call back, were disrespectful, didn't care anything about her, and she said to me, I swear to you, in therapy, in our last session, she said, I want you to talk to all 4 of those men. And I said, there's only one common denominator in this thing. And you have to ask yourself what it is that you are doing to attract into your life that which you resent so much. When I went to my father's grave and I stood there, I got rid of the resentment, and I walked away a free man. And I suspect that probably the most influential person in my life was my father. Because right after I got rid of all that hatred and that anger and that bitterness and resentment, the dreams I used to have about him, and all the things that I just couldn't understand about how could someone walk out on such a beautiful woman with 3 boys and never even make a phone call. If I don't talk to my kids at 24 hours, wherever I am, I get nervous, I get twitchy, I haven't talked to them, I got to connect. And he went a lifetime. But it was that act of forgiveness.